Cyber season is in full swing with our pals Isotope and Native Instruments.
Get huge discounts on everything from Guitar Rig 7,
Complete 14 bundles,
and one of our favorites here at the Cult and Culture Podcast,
Ozone 11 EQ. Go to isotope.com
and nativeinstruments.com
to feast on the audio goodness. Yum.
You can also get additional savings on other softwares by using the code
RUIN10.
DistroKid now also has a motherfucking app. The DistroKid app is available for iOS and Android. You can download it at distrokid.com/app/, or you can get it in the App Store.
Cult and Culture with Justin Pearson. We're here with Luke Henshaw of Planet B, First Power Crew, Sonido de la Frontera, and Penguin Studio. We're here to talk about the inner workings of the sounds that he creates.
People have always asked me how I got my sound, which was described as, dirty, nitty-gritty, heavy, and dark. And I've always lied to them until now. Early on, my buddy Disco Rick and I, we would get up every weekend and head over to the swap meet to find records, and usually Kobe's, and you would see the same thing weekend after weekend. You would see the beat makers, producers, DJs all fighting over the same records, and they were usually the funk records and the soul records where pretty much they were all searching for the ultimate break beat. And they'd be paying $10, $15, $20 just for something like James Brown's Funky Drummer, so they can get that drum break, loop it, and call it theirs. So instead of competing with them, we took a whole nother route, a much cheaper route, and we would find people selling records, usually they were all garbage, to others, and they would be selling records for 25 cents. So for $10, you come home with 40 records. But these records all came with cracks and pops and broken in half sometimes. Most of the time it was a whole different record from what the jacket said. And so I utilized those cracks and pops into my sound. It didn't matter if it was a country record, a little kid's story record, or whatever. We got it, sampled it, and half the time we'd throw it back in the trash. One technique I used when sampling was I would get the stereo cables from the mixer to the actual sampler, and I would just do, weird stuff like I would get a thumbtack and stick it in either the left or the right cable, and sometimes, the left and rights would just pop in and out, or you would get these weird little glitchy sounds. So I would just sit around and mess with the cables and, cut them, slice them, and just to get weird sounds that no one else would be able to get. I also used to take a portable recorder with me and just record sounds, inside, outside the house that I could layer over my beats. I would record me slamming washer and dryer doors just so I can get a bigger kick. I used to take my son to the playground and I would record me thumping the slide, and it would just get this big boom sound, and I would layer it over a kick. Run a stick through a chain link fence, just stuff like that, so I knew no one else knew how I was getting my sound.
That was Cult and Culture with Justin Pearson.